Good Thursday morning, folks. I'm doing a follow-up with nice natural lighting again this morning. No lights on in here, just sunlight. Temperature's going to be in the 80s today, I think. Anyway, back on May 16, I did a video out in our barn talking about Thelma's sea chest that she inherited down through her family. And I read this note that her grandmother had written and put in the sea chest about Uncle Harry's grandmother Montford's brother's sea chest. Well, anyway, since then I've been doing a little research into the family tree. Our daughter-in-law has set up a place on a website called Family Echo, E-C-H-O, Family Echo. And she started it around her family and whatever. And I have added to it from our side of the family way back to Massasoit on my side. I haven't got Governor Bradford in there. But anyway, I thought, well, I'm trying to figure out who Uncle Harry, what generation he was in. Come to find out, Uncle Harry, whose grandmother Montford's brother had this sea chest. His mother was a Montford. Maiden name Blanchard. His grandmother was a maiden name Blanchard. Anyway, I got the Thurlow family. Thelma's a Thurlow, and our dad's family goes way back. And this is her dad's Uncle Harry was her grandfather's uncle, Thelma's grandfather's uncle. So it was her father's great uncle, or granduncle. Regardless, I went back as far as Family Echo went, and I didn't add these in there. I don't know who else did, but it went clear back to Thelma's great-great-great-great-grandfather, John Thurlow, who there aren't any birth or death dates on his, just a name and a note I'll get to in a minute. His son, Joshua, is the only descendant from him that is on record there, was born in 1798. So to me that means John was probably born in the time of the Revolution, 1776 or so. 25, 30 years earlier, maybe 20 years earlier, whatever. But during revolutionary times is when John was probably born. And that's kind of cool. And he lived in Poland. Now, back then, again, this wasn't even the state of Maine, this was Massachusetts or whatever. Mechanic Falls, the town we live in, is divided by the Little Androscoggin River. There's two sides to the river. Right in the center of town is the main bridge. We have a couple of bridges that go across that river. But the big bridge, right in in fact, is being reconstructed right now. Mechanic Falls was the other side of the river was Poland. This side of the river was Minot, which are two large agricultural farming type towns, rural towns, much more so back then than they are now. But anyway, still large areas compared to Mechanic Falls, which is a very compact little town area. Anyway, so the other side of the river was Poland, and I don't know whether this John Thurlow lived there or not. Anyway, the only note on his name was that he was the first licensed minister in Poland, minister of the gospel, which in that, the thing that really amazes me is that they had licenses for ministers back then. I served as a pastor for 12 and a half years, two different churches, Advent Christian denomination, which I still more or less adhere to, but I was never licensed. I was never ordained. I was a notary public for a few years so that I could perform marriages until the homosexual marriage thing came out, and then I relinquished that. I didn't want to get sued for not doing it. So anyway, I did 2 marriages. They're both still in effect. Praise God for that. But the fact that they had licenses back then would indicate that there was some authority that controlled those things, and that license could be revoked if necessary, if there was bad behavior or whatever. So back in 1798 or earlier, whenever, that time period, they were licensing ministers. Amazing. Have a great day, folks.